Coming up on Mountain News this morning, yesterday saw a busy end of voting session in the Kentucky legislation. Plus, Kentucky retirees are speaking up about their lack of funding throughout the years.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. It is 5:30 on March 29th, 2024. Let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Madison. Good morning, everyone. Hard to believe we're putting the wraps on March as we rock and roll through this holiday weekend. Let's get you out the door if you have to be getting out the door quick this morning. Mostly clear, 37 outside our door. We've got a fantastic day to wrap up the week, work week, that is if you're working. A lot of sunshine today, some cloud cover issues the further north you go up toward Ashland and Moorhead, and that's where we find the shower threat as we head through your Saturday. Not a washout for Easter week, or Easter Sunday that is, but still looks like sunrise services could be wet in spots before we deal with a strong and maybe severe weather threat Tuesday of next week. Temperature-wise, with the cloud cover issues, warmer temps to the north versus what we have from Harlan to Jonesville over toward Middlesboro. And you see that with the satellite radar composite with some of the cloud cover issues from Jackson north. And this again will be the area with the cloud cover issues and a shower threat over the next 24 to 36 hours. So for today, a lot of sunshine for many of us across eastern and southern Kentucky. The forecast high this afternoon in Hazard up to 68. More about the holiday weekend forecasts in a few moments. Madison?
Tim, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers reached the finish line for bills in this year's session. Last night was the deadline to pass bills before the veto session, which starts today. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on some key bills, including a sweeping crime bill that aims to reduce violence and a new 2-year spending plan.
State employees a 3% raise and then a 3% raise in each of the 2 fiscal years.
House Bill 6, the overall executive branch budget, passed the House 72-26 and now goes to the governor. Supporters say there is more money for education.
They're excited that with these significant increases that they're going to be able to maintain their staff and also give some sort of a raise.
But opponents say it leaves a lot out, especially for personnel and pre-K.
It is still not good enough. There is not enough investment in K-12 public schools to give teachers and other personnel meaningful raises or even to match pre-recession levels of funding.
Governor Beshear says there are significant investments in a lot of areas, improvements to roads and bridges, body armor for police. There's a stipend to pay student teachers, but he says there should be more to help them through their careers.
2 to 5% will not resolve our teacher shortage, is not enough to ultimately draw in more students to the field. We just need to do more and need to do better.
That was Phil Pendleton reporting. The House also passed the Safer Kentucky Act. It will include tougher penalties and punishment for violent crime. Some opponents say they believe it will still hurt the homeless population. Kentucky lawmakers will have off until Friday, April 12th. They will meet that day and also on Monday the 15th and must adjourn the session by midnight on the 15th. Kentucky retirees are speaking out about this year's budget proposal. The last cost of living adjustment was made in 2011, but the legislature has not granted an increase since. Lucy Richardson retired back in 2006. Since 2011, she hasn't seen an increase on her pension check. With the 2024 budget year quickly coming to a close, she says it's frustrating to be overlooked yet again. So she's calling on lawmakers to see things from her perspective.
People are struggling. People are in tears. People don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the year. It's so dire. How are we supposed to exist? We can't surplus that in any other way. What are we supposed to do?
In House Bill 1 this year, legislators have proposed that $300 million be applied to the Kentucky Public Pensions Authority unfunded pension liability in the 2024 to 2025 fiscal year, but it could be a long time until retirees see any impact. Leaders in Frankfort are raising awareness for Child Abuse Prevention Month. For the occasion, lawmakers decorated the front lawn of the Capitol with blue pinwheels. Each represents 12 children born in Kentucky this year.
As a dad, as a person of faith, and as governor, I believe that there is no more sacred responsibility than the protection of our children.
Part of the demonstration highlighted the passage of Bill 207. The bill makes the possession, trafficking, or importing of sex dolls illegal. Governor Andy Beshear officially signed that bill into law yesterday. And Gaddy's of Pikeville is also preparing for Child Abuse Awareness Month in April, planting prevention now. The 8th annual Gaddy's Goes Blue event brought law enforcement officers, family workers, and child advocates to Gaddy's to plant blue pinwheels in an effort to spread awareness for child safety. Officials say the annual event is about celebrating the faces of the fight against abuse and helping the community better recognize them when a need arises.
It's our way of helping kick off the month of April, which is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Just trying to get everybody kicked up in the community and say a thanks for all their hard work.
More events are planned in April for Child Abuse Prevention Month. You can see more about that on our website. Congressman Hal Rogers has announced a Pike County native as his chief of staff in Washington. Karen Kelly served as district director for Kentucky for 9 years. Kelly has served Rogers previously as a field representative in eastern Kentucky and helped Rogers establish SOAR. Starting Monday, applications will be open for Kentucky's 2022 Disaster Recovery Program. The program helps communities impacted by the July 2022 flood. Applications will be accepted for projects addressing housing, infrastructure, economic development, and resiliency planning. Nearly $300 million are being allocated for the program. Breathitt, Letcher, Knott, Perry, and Pike counties will receive 80% of the funds. Eastern Kentucky lawmakers have announced they have secured approximately $12 million for the construction of a new elementary school. Senator Philip Wheeler and Representative Bobby McCool secured the funding, which will go towards building Inez Elementary in Martin County. This comes following yesterday's final passage of House Bill 6. Governor Andy Beshear announced approximately $2 million will be devoted to Pike County. The county is receiving the money for a development project at Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park. Altogether, the project will total approximately $4 million. In a statement, Governor Beshear said in part, quote, "Site development is crucial in setting up future economic success for the Commonwealth." The Pikeville Fire Department is preparing to say goodbye to one of its own. Robert Lindsay died Tuesday, leaving his family and fellow firefighters at a loss. The 60-year-old firefighter spent 40 years at the department, wearing many different hats along the way. Now Lindsay's legacy is how he served the community he loved, and it fuels his brothers to keep fighting for his memory.
To be that selfless person, to go out and be the first one to serve, and to do this job in a selfless manner. He was the person that you would look to for the inspiration to be able to do those kind of things.
You can find the arrangements for Lindsay's funeral over on our website. For 38 years, Coach Rodney Woods led the Wayne County men's basketball team to more than 700 wins and 9 regional titles. He's no longer the coach. Woods received a letter from the Wayne County Superintendent Wednesday, removing him from the job. Jessica Umbro sat down with Coach Woods about the firing that has sparked a lot of controversy in the Southern Kentucky community.
If you look around Coach Rodney Woods' basement, you find a lot of his Tennessee Volunteers orange. Woods played for the Vols in the 1970s. But if you look a little closer, you'll also see that Wayne County Cardinal red.
I've had numerous opportunities, people wanting to interview, and I just told them that I never wanted to coach anywhere else.
And after 38 years, Woods received a letter from Superintendent Donnie Neal that he'd been dismissed. Woods says it didn't come as a surprise.
The rumors were rampant from the summer on, all year long, that it was going to happen. And people didn't believe that. They thought it would be based on coaching, and I didn't. I knew what would happen.
Despite winning 22 district titles and 9 trips to the state tournament, Woods says that didn't matter. He says the superintendent had a grudge against him.
When you make enemies as a coach, they're usually for a lifetime. They don't last for, 6 months and they're gone.
As news spread, those who knew Coach Woods expressed their shock at the decision.
I do not understand why that Coach Woods couldn't finish out his legacy, and quit on his own. It's something that it's just going to be a black mark on our community for a long time.
And former players share that sentiment.
I didn't want to, but I called Coach Woods because I almost had to hear it from him to really believe it. You look around and there's a lot of history in that gym, and he's created a lot of that history.
Coach Woods, although disappointed, says as he processes the news, he harkens back to a quote from former Cowboys coach Tom Landry.
He always said there's 2 types of coaches. There's the ones that have been fired and the ones that are going to get fired.
In Wayne County, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Our sister station WKYT has made attempts to contact Wayne County Superintendent Donnie Neal. They left a message and have not heard back. When we return, one of the most iconic magazines of the 20th century is mounting a comeback this year.
And weather-wise, great weather to be able to wrap up the work week and get through the holiday weekend, except maybe Sunday. We'll let you know. First Alert 7-day forecast all coming up in a few moments.